But anyway, moving on to Collision. This was actually recorded the same night as Dynamite, so this aired on the 26th, but was taped on the 23rd. So it has the same attendance as Dynamite of the 2,106 at the Uno Lakefront Arena in New Orleans. TJ watched this, so I'm gonna defer to him on this. I actually missed this week's episode because I didn't know it wasn't going to be on until later, and so every time I
8:50.
tried to watch it, basketball was still on.
At least I think it was 8:50. But anyways, I turned it on. I was watching the fights last night too. But I mean, it was just kind of a forgettable episode of Collision. I don't feel like they put too much energy or anything really into these shows. But it actually had less attendance, believe it or not, because they have to place blacked out and people walk out when Collision starts usually. Or maybe it was there first, I don't know. But either way, the opening segment, Swerve Strickland opened up the show but was quickly interrupted by the Young Bucks. They announced his scheduled match was happening immediately. Swerve really wasn't dressed in the correct stuff, so it would have been a little bit harder for him, I guess, to wrestle not in his gear. It was that Blake Christian guy. It was under 3 minutes. Blake Christian looks like a weirdo Kenny Omega kindy to me, but
yeah, that's
a
good
70s Kenny. But post match, the Bucks attacked him until Kenny Omega made the save. Omega delivered a Snapdragon suplex to him, and he nearly hit a V trigger. But Swerve and Omega shared a respectful fist bump afterwards. Kind of cool to see. I like both those guys, so maybe they'll do something against the Bucks together. It's cool seeing Kenny on Collision. They got to make the show feel bigger somehow.
Yeah, and Swerve and Kenny are definitely two of the better people in the company.
Yeah.
I always enjoy seeing both of their work. You know that you're gonna get a quality match out of them, unless they're wrestling just like the garbagest person of all time that's just gonna sandbag their match.
I agree. But we'll go ahead and move on to the first match of the night, which was Toni Storm versus Queen Hamanata. Remember, they had a little thing where they said this was going to happen on Dynamite. It was competitive back and forth. Toni Storm defeated Queen Hamanata. Hamanata showed a little bit more aggressive style, maybe leaning heel. Remember, her and Serena Deeber have been in some kind of little thing back and forth where she's trying to be her mentor, so maybe she's finally leaning more into that. But that would be nice because Queen Hamanata hasn't had any character growth or really done anything at all on the show since she's been there.
I saw she does a move.
Yeah, the butt
where
move.
The butt move, and I saw that on Instagram, and then all of the comments were like the little Dolph Ziggler gif of "It should have been me."
I don't know about that.
Wrestling fans are horny perverts, man.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on.
Give them the ball.
She might not wipe for all you know. But,
oh no, that's not.
Yeah,
I don't like that. I don't like that.
We're gonna go ahead and move on. But we got Max Caster's open challenge. I'm enjoying this. I know a lot of people aren't, but Max Caster's actually getting better at this. He can talk. He's a pretty good wrestler too. He came out, talked a little bit. Not gonna break it down too much, but it's been more of the same stuff. But he gets a little chant going. The crowd's actually getting into chanting it with him. Hologram accepted it and defeated him in a quick squash match. Not really looking forward to anything Hologram's ever involved in. Not much more to add there. It was what it was, and we all watched it. We'll move on to the
Every
next.
time that I see something with him or Anthony Bowens, I'm just like, well, why did they break up the Acclaimed?
Yeah,
let's break up the most over tag team we have.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
It's a shame they did that. They should have had multiple championship runs, and I don't know, just they don't know what to do with them. But moving on, it was Anna Jay versus a local competitor. She dominated in a squash match. Afterwards, Penelope Ford came out and beat her up a little bit, took advantage of her being tired, and Megan Bain hit her with it's actually not an F5, by the way. That is what she's doing, but I think she calls it Final Destination. So
I mean, the move's an F5. I think that's just like the official, like how a power bomb's a power bomb. That move is just, it's the F5. A suplex is a suplex. But yeah, we'll try to remember her move's name.
They just kind of jump from match to match.
I did actually catch the highlights of that match, and it wasn't that great, but it was all three of those chicks are super hot.
Yeah.
And they do got a lot of pretty girls over in AEW
for sure. But tornado tag match, The Crew, which is Leo Rush and Action Andretti with some stupid looking Bowser jackets. They're getting bigger, by the way. Defeated Top Flight in a wild brawl that included kendo sticks, trash cans, a comedic reveal of Mardi Gras beads out of a bag, when they're going to dump the tacks or the glass. It was Mardi Gras beads, and I think that's what ended up causing them to lose, but it wasn't anything crazy, just serviceable enough, I guess, kind of forgettable, and I guess at least these guys are getting some TV time. But we'll move on. It was the ROH Championship match between Bandito and Dralistico in a fast-paced and athletic match to retain the ROH World Championship. I'm just going to kind of stick to what I said before. I don't need to see ROH belts on AEW television. It does only kind of like further devalues the belts that you actually have on your show that are AEW branded, and I don't need to see Bandito or Dralistico really on TV anymore. They're indistinguishable. Nothing they do stands out. And I'm not even saying they're not good. They can wrestle good enough matches, but when nobody talks and everybody's having the same match, it all seems like they're the same guy. It doesn't work. It doesn't make them seem any better. It doesn't really... Nobody's getting over. They're just having matches for the sake of having matches, and I don't need to see it, and I'm tired of just seeing these matches for the sake of having matches. Like, if these guys were actually getting over on it, it'd be another thing, but you can count me out of this every time. The guys involved, I don't know, just the way they're being used in AEW stink, and ROH is still probably one of the worst wrestling purchases of all time. What do you think?
You would think that these modern masked guys would figure this shit out. Like, this will be the second time that we reference the WCW Cruiserweight division, but I mean, all of those guys were distinguishable. All of them, while wrestling the lucha style, had their own style. AEW wrestlers and luchadors everywhere should probably go back and rewatch the 90s AAA stuff and
the
WCW Cruiserweight division and just look at how different.
It was like Rey Mysterio, best luchador of all time. At least in North America, not even a question. Eddie Guerrero, Juventud Guerrera, La Parca, Psychosis, Silver King, Cyclope, Hector Garza, Chavo Guerrero Jr., Conan. It's you just go on and on and on, man.
Yeah, every single one of those guys was different and had their own style.
Yeah, and I'm going down. This is where the LWO was originally created. Which they're still using today. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know. AEW hasn't figured it out, and hopefully one day they do, but I don't recommend watching this. You can just steer clear of this. But we'll move on to Rush versus AR Fox. Pretty much the same suggestion here.
Fuck this match.
Rush fucking sucks. AR Fox is just some guy that they feature on the show here and there. There's no reason
when I see Rush on the show, I fucking rush to my remote to change the channel.
There's no reason for me to care about either competitor. They haven't done anything. Rush has done more than AR Fox on this show, but just no thank you. Do you remember like Rush and that group that he started with those guys? They were traded from Don Callis to what's his face? Who's the guy with? I'm sorry that I'm blanking, but the guy with the snake. From WWE back in the day.
Jake the Snake?
Yeah. So, sorry, I space on stuff all the time, but Jake
the Snake. I was
Snake,
thinking that at first, and then I'm like, no, there's no way he's talking about Jake.
Yes, Jake the Snake Roberts is managing them, and they just announced it, but then they haven't shown him again with them. Unless he was out here and somehow I didn't see it, but I'm damn sure I haven't seen him since they announced him trading with the Don Callis family, and it's just more pointless shit for no reason, putting stuff together, and just no thanks. And we're gonna move on to FTR versus Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. It was a good match. Nothing too crazy really happened.
I would assume it would have been the best night of the best match of the night based off of the names involved in it.
It's just more of the same shit for the most part, though. Strong sold a knee injury and returned to action late in the match. Afterwards, Adam Cole came out, but Daniel Garcia followed with a crowbar, threatening FTR to end the show. I don't need to see Daniel Garcia either. Like he looks like he's a Jiffy Lube tech. He looks like shit. He talks like shit. He can wrestle good enough, but they use him poorly. Like he had the TNT title, and like you can agree with me, disagree here. I know you agree with me, but it didn't get him over. It was pointless him having it. Nothing happened. Now Adam Cole has it. Adam Cole's not going to get over with it because they don't know what to do with these guys to get them over once they have the belt. I mean, historically, the chase is always better, but if the chase sucks when you have the belt, it sucks. Afterwards, it sucks. Like, I mean, at what point are you going to decide to move on from these people that you either can't get over, they can't get over on your show, or they just can't get over themselves? But it's time to move on. I don't need to see Daniel Garcia anymore. And I love FTR. It was a good enough match for what it was, but just more of the same. And overall, I give the show like a 2. It was fucking terrible, and I'm tired of them. Why have 2 shows if you can't do it? You know, it doesn't make any sense. Diluting the quality of your show overall on TV just because you want to have more hours to get more money from the Warner Brothers Discovery. I don't know. Just good for you for getting your stuff, and what do I know? And this is just me speaking personally, but it's just this show's a train wreck most weeks, and
it was a better idea when they had Punk, and it was going to be Punk's show.
Oh, it was a great while Punk was on it, but it was just a train wreck, and no thanks.
Yep,
that's about it.
Well, do you want to talk about some WrestleMania stats, or we want to call the show for the day? How you feeling?
No, I want to keep going. We got the WrestleMania stats that we wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, we got a fun segment for you guys this week because there's no pay-per-view. We're gonna do a little short breakdown here of the WrestleMania 41 stats. It was pretty record-setting weekend for the E there, TJ.
For sure.
I'll let you get into it.
So, they had the largest gate in WWE history, but they're combining 2 nights, by the way, when they say all this. 124,693 fans packed the Allegiant Stadium over 2 nights. Most viewed WrestleMania ever. Viewership up 114% over last year.
That's quite a bit. Like that's actually an insane number.
Here's the thing is like, and worldwide, I'm pretty sure their pay-per-views their PLEs aren't on Peacock. That's an American thing. They're on Netflix most places, right? So like,
right.
A lot of people have Netflix, so their PLE distribution is easier to watch than ever around the world. So I think that has a big reason to why it may have been over. And merchandise sales, they smashed them over 45% on site and 86% online. 28% sponsorship partners, new all-time record. Their hospitality sales jumped 75%. WWE World drew over 50,000 fans, which is a 21% increase.